Welcome to the 2017-2018 School Rules and Scoring presentation. We will be covering rules updates and new division expectations for this season. Team Epic consists of the following brands: ACDA, All-Star Championships, American All-Star, Champion Cheer and Dance, Cheer Stars, Champion Spirit Group, Dance Fest, Epic Dance, Nation's Choice, Spirit Unlimited, VIP, and WSA. All teams will first be separated by age group. You may register for the following divisions. Varsity will consist of athletes that are in grades 9 through 12th. JV will consist of athletes that are in grades 9 through 11th. Junior high will consist of athletes that are in 9th grade and under. Elementary will consist of athletes that are in 6th grade and under. Teams will only compete against competitors in the same age division and the same registered skill division. All age teams can register for intermediate or advanced competition. There are non-tumble and non-mount divisions as well. Team Epic's WSA brand will be the only brand to offer a novice division. Team Epic brands will be awarding U.S. Finals bids this season. U.S. Finals offers a different selection of divisions than Team Epic brands. If your team receives a bid from Epic and U.S. Finals does not offer your division, you are allowed to register in another division. We will now discuss scoring updates for this season for school teams. All skills must be performed by most of the athletes on the team. Most is considered to be 75% of the athletes on your team. Teams must have most perform the required skills to be eligible for a desired range. This chart explains the required number of stunt groups or athletes that must perform the skill to ensure that your team gets difficulty credit. If you look to the left side of the screen, you will see the stunt quantity chart. You need to first look to find the number of athletes that you will be competing with. Next to that, you will see the minimum number of stunt groups that you must put up at one time in order to receive difficulty credit. Teams will receive credit for stunt difficulty if they have the required number of stunt groups perform a skill synchronized or in a ripple. For example, if I have 16 athletes on my team, I would need to have a minimum of 3 stunt groups perform the skill to receive difficulty credit for the skill. If you look to the right side of the screen, you will see the tumbling and jump quantity chart. Teams must have most of their athletes perform the skill set to receive difficulty credit. Tumbling passes do not have to be synchronized. For example, if I have 16 athletes on my team, I would need a minimum of 12 passes of the same skill within the routine to receive difficulty credit for that skill. Last year, teams registered for Novice, Intermediate, Excel, and Advanced divisions. Those divisions were linked to levels 2, 3, 4, and 5. They are still linked this year. However, your team will be receiving a different point value based upon the leveled skills you perform. Example, an intermediate team who performs a half up to extension and straight cradle will receive a score in the 3 to 4 range, as those skills are considered level 2 skills. An advanced team who performs the same sequence will only score in the 2 to 3 point range this year. For advanced divisions, Excel and Advanced skills were merged into the same group. Teams that are performing Excel or level 4 skills will score in the 4 to 4.5 range, and teams that are performing Advanced level 5 skills will score in the 4.5 to 5 range. This year, teams must perform a required skill set to be eligible for a range. Performing those skills will get them into the bottom of the range. Performing additional skills within that level will boost their score within the range. Teams must have most of their groups perform the skills listed above to be able to get into the range they want to score in. For example, if an intermediate team has most perform an extended lib and a full down from prep, the lowest score they can achieve is a 4.0. To get a score higher in that range, they would need to perform additional level 3 skills by most or have more athletes perform the required skills. If an advanced team performs an extended lib and full down from 2 feet by most, their minimum score would be a 3.0. For the advanced division, you will see that in order to get into the 4 to 5 range, a team needs to perform a single twist from one leg stunt and an elite skill. An elite skill for high school is any legal level 4 or 5 skill. Here you will see the required skill set for pyramid difficulty. In the intermediate division, in order to receive a 2 to 3, a team should perform a brace extension or brace single leg skill at prep level. A team that performs a brace extended single leg stunt will receive a score in the 3 to 4 range. And a team who performs multiple brace extended structures along with a legal intermediate brace release pyramid transition will receive a score in the 4 to 5 range. For an advanced team to receive a 4 to 5, they must also perform multiple extended structures within their pyramid sequence and include a brace flip or legal advanced arm brace tic-tac transition. This year, school teams are not required to perform tosses. If a JV or varsity team would like to perform tosses, they may. Any tosses performed will be credited for difficulty within the pyramid category. Elementary and junior high teams are not allowed to perform tosses. Here is the required skill set for standing tumbling. A team must have most perform the skill set to be eligible for the range. In order to receive a 2 to 3, most of the team must perform a cartwheel or forward or backwards roll. Tumbling will be counted cumulatively throughout the routine. In order to receive a 3 to 4, a team must have most perform a standing back handspring. And in order for an intermediate team to receive a 4 to 5, a team must have most perform standing back handspring series or an advanced jump handspring combination. For an advanced team to receive a 4 to 5, they must have most perform a standing back tuck or a back handspring back tuck. Advanced teams that perform standing passes, including layouts and fulls, will also be credited in this range. Skills can be synced, rippled, or recycled for credit. Epic will be scoring standing and running tumbling difficulty and technique separately. U.S. Finals will be scoring standing and running tumbling together. For U.S. Finals, teams can choose to perform only standing tumbling, only running tumbling, or a combination of standing and running to achieve most passes. For advanced teams that only perform fulls, the full will be scored in the 4 to 5 range because the layout is embedded in the skill. Epic will be considering a punch front as a legal intermediate skill. For U.S. Finals, they are considering a punch front and a legal intermediate skill, but a legal advanced skill. School teams will receive credit for advanced jumps only. Advanced skills are a toe touch, front or side hurdler with the left or right leg, pike, and double 9. In order to get a 5.0, teams need to perform 3 synchronized advanced jumps using a whip approach, or they can perform 2 advanced jumps using the whip approach plus an additional advanced jump someplace in the routine. Teams must include at least 2 types of advanced jumps within their routine. For example, a team that does a double toe touch and a single pike jump will receive a 5.0. A team that does a triple toe touch will receive a 4.5 because they did not have variety within their sequence. U.S. Finals is requiring school teams to perform an advanced quad jump with variety, or an advanced triple jump plus an additional single jump with variety in order to achieve the 5.0. Teams must use the whip approach when connecting jumps. Teams will receive a technique score for stunts, pyramid, standing tumbling, running tumbling, and jumps. They will be scored between a 4.0 and 5.0. Judges will use the following drivers when assessing skill technique. Judges will be looking at all of the skills performed within the routine holistically to determine the team's score. The building judge will be looking at the stability and control of the stunt and pyramid sequences, flyer body positioning, flexibility and technique used, as well as the base positioning and their technique used. Height will only be assessed if a team chooses to perform tosses. The tumbling judge will be looking for appropriate fluidity, power, and speed of the skill performed, as well as if the athlete has control of the pass and body positioning of the skill. Is the athlete's core, arms, head, legs, chest, and toes in the appropriate place? Height, control, flexibility, leg and hip placement, as well as arm and chest positioning and placement will be looked at when determining the jump technique score. The team will receive a score based upon how most of the team is executing the skill. If most of the skill is being performed with below average execution, they will receive a 4 to 4.3. If most of the skill is being performed with average execution, they will receive a 4.3 to 4.6. If most of the team is performing the skill set with above average execution, they will receive a 4.6 to 5.0. Timing of these skill sets will be scored separately and not included in technique. Teams will receive a 4.0 to 5.0 for building and tumbling and jump timing at epic competitions. U.S. Finals will only be assessing building timing. Overall will be scored very similarly as last year. When scoring routine composition, the judge will be looking for appropriate spacing of stunts, jumps, and tumbling sequences, as well as clean transitioning. Teams will receive a score from 9 to 10 points. When looking at your routine, here are some questions for reflection. Are your athletes running from one side of the floor to the other and crossing center, or are they a step or two away from their next position? Do your athletes walk to their next spot, or is there creative choreography that assists them with their transition? Is their spacing slightly off in stunts, jumps, etc., or are formations precise? These concepts are what the judges will be evaluating. The team's performance score will be scored from a 9 to 10. Judges are looking for athletes to be genuinely excited while performing. This energy should last throughout the routine. Coaches, take a look at your team's facials and expressions, not only when they start the routine and are dancing, but during their building and tumbling sequences as well. Teams will be scored on their motion sequences in their routine and dance. This score combines difficulty and execution together. Judges are looking for the following drivers: body placement, position, and alignment of arms and core and legs, sharpness and strength of the movement, pace and intricacy of the arm movement and the footwork included. They're looking for a variety of formations and level changes, as well as the energy throughout the performance. U.S. Finals is requiring all school teams to perform a cheer and have a music portion of their routine. The maximum length of the music section can be 90 seconds. Teams can choose to perform a 60-second cheer or less. The timer will not be stopped between the two portions. Deductions will be assessed if the music portion is too long or the total time is too long. Epic Brands is still allowing teams to perform an all-music routine if they choose, but within the music section they must minimally stop the words of the track and perform a chant to a backbeat or no beat at all. No voiceovers or song lyrics can be played during this time. A deduction will be assessed if a team does this. The length of the chant is up to the team on the floor. Teams also have the choice to perform a cheer and music, like U.S. Finals, or an all-cheer routine. The time limit for all styles will be 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Coaches need to choose the style of routine that best displays the abilities of their athletes. When the team performs a cheer or chant in their routine, judges will be assessing the athlete's voice. They will be listening to their pace, flow, inflection, and pronunciation of the cheer or chant. If a team has the words of their cheer or chant recorded to assist with sound, they will receive a deduction. The judges should only be listening to the cheerleaders on the mat. If a team chooses to perform a call and response style of cheer, then the crowd is able to respond in the appropriate section, but not say all of the words of the entire cheer. In order to receive a 9 to 10, teams must have a cheer or chant within their routine. Teams that do not have a cheer or chant will receive a 0. The school representation category will not be scored at Epic events, but will be found on the U.S. Finals score sheet. Teams that receive bids to finals can expect to be scored on their image, sportsmanship, and performance integrity. All scoring information and updates will be posted at theepicbrands.com/scoring throughout the season. You can find master score sheets, scoring rubrics, and division skill lists on this site. Now we're going to be looking at rules changes for school teams this season. The following rules changes are underlined on the screen in front of you. Epic will be following a merged ACCA and NFHS document. U.S. Finals is only following ACCA. Letter B, General 16. When standing at attention, apparel must cover the midriff extended around the body. So when you're looking at your athlete's uniform, have them stand still, make sure that their stomach is covered by their uniform top. D, inversions 3A-B. Brace inversions in a pyramid that do not flip or roll are allowed providing the following conditions are met. A, the inverted top person must have 2 bases or 1 base and 1 spotter. B, if the top person is released from the base or bases, the bracer or bracers must have 2 bases or 1 base and 1 spotter. Example, last year a bracer should have been in a prep with a spotter. This year they can be in a double base prep without a spotter or a shoulder stand with a spotter. D, inversions 4A. Brace rolls in a pyramid are allowed providing the following condition is met. The bracer or bracers must have 2 bases or a base and 1 spotter. The exception to this is shoulder sits and thigh stands. Inversions 6A12. Inversions may be released to the following provided there is a spotter. 1 dismounts with no more than 1 half turn, or 2 loading positions below prep level with no more than a half turn. Ground level inversions may be released to prep level, but cannot twist. Last year, they were only allowed to be released to below prep level. All inversions that are released may begin at prep level or below. Suspended rolls are now subject to the same rules as all other inverted stunts that go above prep level. They must remain in contact with at least one person and must have at least one other base or spotter. This means that single-based, single-grip suspended rolls are allowed as long as there is a spotter, which could be the person releasing or catching the top person, if they are in the position. For NFHS rules, there must be a second person in contact with the top person's upper body, which means a single-base, single-grip suspended roll is legal as long as the spotter grabs the wrist of the top person. Pyramids 3 is not a change in rule from last season, but rather a clarification. In pyramids, where one extended stunt braces another extended stunt, the connection must not be hand-arm to leg-foot. The connection must be hand-arm to hand-arm or hand-arm to shoulder. So for example, an extended top person in a single leg stretch bracing the shoulder of another extended top person in a stretch is allowed. It is not allowed if an extended top person in that stretch is bracing the leg of another extended top person in a stretch. Pyramid 7C. In a release pyramid transition, the following rules apply. The bracer or bracers must be at prep level or below. The bracer or bracers must have 2 bases or a base and spotter. Once again, the exception is shoulder sits and thigh stands. Brace flips still need 2 bases and a spotter for teams who are following NFHS rules. The following are intermediate restrictions only, clarifications, and changes. This does not apply to teams that are registered in the advanced division. For intermediate teams, the stunt rules are no different than last year. Due to the advanced wording changes, they are clarified in the intermediate restrictions section. Therefore, in stunts, C, release moves are only allowed when the top person begins at waist level or below and transitions to prep level or below. Releases may not invert. Or on E, multi-base suspended forward or backward rolls are only allowed if both hands of the top person are connected to separate hands of a base or bases. The pyramid rule is a change from last year for intermediate school teams. The allowance last year resulted in multiple deductions and safety concerns for intermediate teams. Therefore, D, extended single leg stunts may not brace another extended stunt. You can find the entire rules document at theepicbrands.com/rules. Advanced teams should follow all rules listed. Intermediate teams must follow the rule book along with an additional restrictions page, which can be found at the end of the document. If you have additional scoring or rules questions, please feel free to contact Randy Orr, the Director of Scoring for The Epic Brands, at randy@theepicbrands.com. If you have additional questions about U.S. Finals scoring and rules, please contact Marissa Seeger at mseeger@varsity.com.